Power of the internet. That's cool. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bread and Wine. We are here in sunny Marquette, Michigan, because we're doing our lovely getaway for Independence Day. You got to come a little closer to me. They can't see you. And we are having a blast already. We've been here for 24 hours, and instead of wine this week, we are having a lovely Black Rocks beer because we
When in Rome.
Exactly, when in Rome.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do. When in Marquette, drink Black Rocks.
Oh, I like it. You're spot on. You're spot on.
Right.
Everybody, so welcome to another Bread and Wine. We're happy to be here. And Nicole, what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to talk about time.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about time.
There's never enough time.
No, there's never. And in, the same way that we do always, like things that have happened to us in the past week, those tend to be the topics that we, top of mind and we want to bring up during Bread and Wine. So this past week, God, it is so apparent that COVID is going away, because how many invitations have we gotten to birthday parties, housewarming parties, end of the year school parties, soccer parties, and they are all wonderful, fun, cool things to do. But when you do 3 of them or more in a day,
lose it.
Yeah, it loses its luster. You can't really be present in the moment at the event that you're at.
Yeah.
So I think, we used to know how to juggle it, and then COVID hit and we were all kind of like, whoa, what do we do? We have nothing to do. This is super weird.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of started getting used to it. And now that society is opening back up, how do we manage this? Time is a resource, just like money. So that's how I'm tying this into money, right? So,
yeah, I love it.
I mean, we have to budget our time.
We do, and I love that you say that. And I know you don't like the word
I
budget
hate the word
it sounds like a
budget.
swear word, but I really like budgeting my time. I actually try to do that every morning. I get up, I use my planner. I say, what am I going to try to get done? Because my time is so crunched during the day. I'm getting the kids ready to go. I'm getting them off to camp, and then I've got like 3 to 4 to 5 hours to do this entrepreneur thing, and then I'm back at getting the kids ready, cleaning the house. So it's like I have a very small amount of time to try to do some of the things that I'm very interested in doing during the day. So budgeting that time is like crucial for me. But to your point on the social calendar, I think, we locked up for a really long time. So now that the world's opened up, it's like everybody wants to do everything right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to have that party. I want to go on that vacation. I want to get everybody together. And everybody decided to do it all at once. And we can't do it all at once. So it's hard. You got to be able to say no sometimes. No can be a very powerful word, and it can be a complete sentence as well. And that's okay.
I mean, it's just like a budget. If you have $1,000 to spend on entertainment a month, think of that as, you obviously can't say no to 20 concerts and out to dinner this many times. So you do have to prioritize the things that you can afford that month. And it's the same thing with time. It's
Absolutely.
like, how much time do we have after you got to take out work and, there's soccer games, things you're totally committed to. And then on top of that, we have a lot of friends that we want to see. We have family we want to see.
Yep.
How do we prioritize all of that so that we're not feeling like jerks saying no to a lot of stuff? And how do we say no to the things that we want to say?
Sure. I think we got to start with our priorities, right?
Yeah.
What are the things that are most important to us in life? We're family first folks. We like to spend time with our kids. We like to spend time with our family. And so that always comes to top list for me. And then obviously the people we want to spend the most time with, obviously.
Yeah.
We live in a new community or a newer community. I didn't grow up there. You didn't necessarily grow up in that city. So a lot of us, the time we try to spend is trying to meet new people and expand our bounds, but it's also times of convenience too. It's like, okay, who can we hang out with as well as who can our kids hang out with? Because that'll all combine it into one. And unfortunately, that sometimes leaves out folks that we want to spend more time with. It's a tough balance. I hear you. I don't know if there's a right answer, but we're seeking it, especially in this time of crazy post-pandemic.
Okay. So there's a thing that I've heard. Let's talk about this and if we agree with it or not. And I love the sentiment of it, but tell me if you agree. If it's not a yes, no. If it's not a hell yes, thanks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know it better than I do. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
Yes, I love this saying, and I'm not sure that Greg McKeown said it from Essentialism, but it's in his book Essentialism, and that's one of my favorite pieces of that book is that there are so many things that we can do or want to do or spend time with people that we have to go with our priorities, number one, as well as like just our gut feeling of, hell yeah, I want to do that. And if it's not, if it's like, then you got to say no. You got to say no. And that's an okay thing to do.
That's
because
tough, though.
It's
tough to say no.
It is tough.
You feel like you're letting
But who
people
at the end of the
down.
day are you trying to please? Are you trying to please everybody? Or are you trying to please yourself and the people that matter most in your life? I mean, really, you can't please everybody.
No.
You're going to make some people mad.
Yeah.
You are.
It's a harsh realization.
I mean, check your email box. Are you going to respond to every single one of those emails? It's impossible. You're gonna make somebody sad.
There is this
some marketing person that tried to contact you to sell you something. They're gonna be so sad.
But there's somebody who told me that if I write them a check for $300, they'll send me $500 cash.
Oh well, yeah, that
should
actually sounds like a good
respond.
opportunity. Are they a Nigerian prince?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Princess.
Princess.
No, you're right. I mean, I think so. You have to be okay with the art of saying no, like my father-in-law says.
Yes.
The art of saying no and disappointing people.
Absolutely.
Okay, but here's the flip side of that, let's say you say no to someone, are they going to invite you again the next time? And maybe you do want to be invited the next time.
Yeah.
You don't want to be, taken off of the list for the
That's true.
annual Halloween party or whatever, but
my counterpoint to that is that if you genuinely want to spend time with that person, you've said no maybe once or twice, then it's up to you to make the invitation next time. If you genuinely want to go out of your way to spend time with that person, you got to reciprocate. You can't just be like, oh, they keep inviting me and I keep saying no. It's like, well, do you actually really want to spend time with them? Then go out of your way to make it a priority to spend time with them.
yeah. Take charge instead of waiting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I try to do that with friends, like especially people I want to spend time with, where it's like, okay, they invited me one time. Okay, now I feel like the ball's been passed over to me to be like, all right, if I genuinely want to spend more time with this person, then it's I've invited somebody to do something and spent time with them. I'm like, oh, that was really good. And I'll wait for them to do the next invite. And sometimes it doesn't happen.
Sometimes they don't.
Maybe they're waiting for me to do it again. It doesn't happen. Maybe they didn't really. Maybe it wasn't a.
It's a harsh realization.
It is a harsh
but
realization.
Yeah.
Not gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna want to spend time with you all the time, and that's okay.
Your entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How did your mom said in the
she said your little podcast.
Your little podcast.
I loved it.
I loved it too. I think I prefer to it as that too. No, you've started
I like
this
calling it my little podcast.
awesome business
It's nice.
over a year ago, and I think you've gone through a lot of. You still haven't come up with like the perfect gone too far one way where you were like, oh, I'm working on all this writing stuff, which is like quick money.
Yep.
But not necessarily your long-term goal.
Right.
Where you and with writing, I think there's a certain amount. Let's say it takes 3 hours per article. There's literally only a certain amount of articles you will be able to do. You will cap out
Right.
at 5 articles per week, which is X amount of dollars. So like there's a cap to that.
Sure.
So you don't want to spend all of your money doing the articles. So you started doing
My time. You don't want to spend my time.
all of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started kind of going too far that way, and then you got too far the other way where you were doing like a lot of free consultations and a lot of pro bono stuff that might lead to something, and then you're like, well, now I'm spending too much there.
Yeah.
So tell me where you're at now. Do you feel like you've gotten?
Yeah, I mean, I've been dancing this small business thing for 4 or 5 years, and I'm still figuring out all the things that I love to do, but I'm trying to move towards work that just makes me so happy to do it. Yeah, and writing is not my favorite thing to do.
You're good at it, but you're
good
slow.
at it, I'm slow. I'm slow. And it's not my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
So, but it does, like, as you pump articles into all their big websites, and that's the best way to do it. I love video, as you guys are seeing right now. I love video. I love podcasting. So I'm trying to figure out ways to sell my services in that fashion, not only through making advertising and sponsorship dollars through my channels, but also helping other people with their channels. So recently I started working with the college investor, and we're partnering together to make TikTok videos. Like, it's so totally random. Never did TikTok before like a month and a half ago, but he's super happy because he's getting more content on his channel, and I'm super happy because I'm making videos, and I love making videos about personal finance and money. So I guess to answer your question, I'm trying to move the types of activities that I'm doing to high dollar high dollar per hour activities as well as things that I love. And so I'm trying to fill my 20 to 25 hours a week with high per hour rate work. And then anything else that I don't want to do, outsourcing it. And so I work with writers. I have writers write for my site. I have ghost writers that help me with some of my stuff.
I like that conversation that we had like a couple weeks ago where we had the realization that like you're like, well, I've done a little bit of this and it wasn't the right mix. I've done that and it wasn't the right mix. How do I get the right mix of what I do on a daily basis? And then we talked about just the same way we do with our budget every month. Maybe that's a weekly thing that you sit down and you say, okay, I have 40 hours a week. Okay, so out of the 40 hours, how many of these hours can I do free work? You know, either for friends who want you to like help, you know, look at their products, like read their book and give them a review.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any money, but you love doing that kind of stuff. Or you know, or writing articles. So how many hours can you afford to do pro bono?
Sure.
Out of the 40. So maybe it's 5.
Very minimal.
Which means
I don't even have 40
1 hour
hours.
a
I've
day.
got like 20 to 25 with my responsibilities as
And
a dad.
that's the
honestly.
other thing is realizing how many hours you actually do have, because part of the reason I think you wanted to get away from the desk job was so that you can be present when the kids come home.
Exactly.
So you got to actually look at how many hours do you realistically have if you want to be present when at 3:30 when they're home.
Yep. It's about 20 to 25 hours. I
Right.
figured it out. So really with that, I mean, to your point, I don't have 5 hours to give away each week, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a lot less
So-
than that. But what I try to do is 60% of my time I want to spend on growing my platforms so that in the future it's advertising income, it's affiliate income, things that is just passive digital income that works out for
So
me.
60% of your time. So out of the, well, can we just give it
Sure.
a round number?
Yeah,
30 hours a week of working.
Okay. So that would be 18 hours.
Okay, so 18 hours can be working on passive.
And then the other 40% would be working on other people's platforms that pay me good money.
Right.
Higher than I could pay myself right now.
Right.
I'm learning a skill and I'm also getting paid good money for that. So,
Right.
yeah.
But you also want to do your mastermind calls, and you also want to
Yeah,
do
I do.
So where do those come from? Those don't just magically appear more hours in the day.
I don't know. You're right. I do need to work
Right?
on that. You're
and
right.
this is
I
where
need
it
to
gets
budget that out
crunched.
a little
This
bit
is
more.
where it gets crunched, is where you're like, well, wait, I still have work to do, but it's 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and it's a good conversation too, because I have the and disease, as you know, as you've called out. So I want to continue to do more and more and more, especially in this entrepreneur stuff, because I love it so much that it gets addicting. And it's like, okay, how can I do? Well, let me jump on and do a new platform. Well, why don't you focus on the other platform you were on before?
Right.
So yeah, it's a good point. I mean, just like budget for money, you need to budget out your time, because you can't do it all. I mean, you don't have endless money, you don't have endless time.
Yeah, it's literally like you can budget out minute by minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bathroom breaks.
It's very true. It's very true. I mean, how about you? You got a new job, you got a new position, you're working at home, which is nice and flexible. And then you also have things that you want to do. You want to spend time with more people. I know you've been out a lot more, spending time with girlfriends and things like that, because the world's opened back up. But yeah, I see you kind of struggle with that too, because it's a time balance. So how do you do it?
I do. But my whole philosophy is, because, okay, so I do get a salary, but I can get time and a half for over 40 hours.
Yeah, sweet.
Which is awesome.
It is
It's
awesome.
not that we couldn't use
you, boss.
the extra money.
Right.
I mean, but I don't take advantage of it. And the reason is because I would rather, and we've talked about this in another episode, but I you know, just to reinforce, I feel as though if I do more than 40 hours, it's not a good balance for me. I would rather pay the company that extra money back to be with my kids in the evening. And I would that extra money back to go outside and weed for an hour or two a day.
She likes weeding people.
I do. So essentially,
I married a good one.
that time is worth money, right?
Yeah.
That time, I don't want to feel like the company owns my time. I want to feel like I own it.
Yeah.
And the way that I can do that is to get paid less.
It's very, I like it from an honesty perspective. I think that you're not, even if you worked overtime that week, In a sense, you know, like you work till 9 one night, and it's
Yeah.
probably over the typical hours
Then I'll
that a
kinda
typical worker would.
stop
But you've been
working
like,
on Friday afternoon
There you
and
go.
drive to Marquette.
that's exactly.
And I'll check email and I'll be, you know, but I don't feel as though, oh gosh, I can't leave until 5 p.m. because I'm on the clock and they're paying me for every moment. No. I'd rather not get paid that extra money and just be like, I own my own time.
I like that. I would say maybe from the work for home perspective, you have very high morals with regard to your time and what
Yeah.
you do for your boss and
Sure,
what you do
there's
for your workers.
people who would charge the overtime and not really put it in,
Right.
but
I agree.
I won't do that.
Well, it's a good position to be in. You got a good position. You got a good company.
Yeah. So let's recap a little bit.
All right. Takeaways?
Yeah, key takeaways.
Sounds good.
So
You want to start?
I would say the first key takeaway is realizing that time is a resource. Like you can't just fly by the seat of your pants every single day and think that, oh, I'm just going to do this for 3 hours and then be surprised at the end of the day when you didn't get enough accomplished. Like time is a resource just like money. You need to know how much you have of it and plan it ahead so you can control it and you're not shocked at the end of the day when the day's over and you got nothing done.
I completely agree. And to piggyback onto that,
Woo, woo, woo.
we almost lost our camera. To piggyback onto that, number 2 is if you have trouble with that, use some tools to help you with those resources. I literally
You love that journal.
I love my journal. I've been using it for 1.5 years. It's called the
Yeah,
Full
thank
Focus
you,
Planner.
Wendy and David. Wendy and David actually are.
They turned us on to
live
one of them, but I've
studio
changed it
audience.
now.
Can I get a woo?
Yeah,
woo?
live studio audience, can we get head up? If you guys need some help with trying to figure out your day, there's nothing better than writing it physically down. It helps out a lot. And I've been doing it now. Yes, my sister turned me on to it 2 years ago now, and I cannot get enough of it. It's great. So use a tool. I'll put a link for the one that I use in the show notes, Full Focus Planner, but it helps me out a lot. Even just syncing that calendar up with your spouse so you know what's going on. If you have the iPhones, iCals, or whatever phone you have, syncing that up, we always know what we are doing
What
throughout
are you
the day.
thinking about?
What are you thinking about?
Love that one.
I do remember that one. But yeah, use a tool to help you. So you got number 3?
Okay, and I do have a number 3.
All right.
If it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
That's
and
right.
you know what? Yeah, just prioritizing, realizing you can't do it all, and you're gonna piss some people off. And if you don't really want to hang out with them, then it's maybe okay that you don't please them. If you do want to hang out with them, but you just literally can't do 5 things in one day, then reach out to them and make the next plan. I love that idea.
I agree. I love it. Well, cheers. I wish I could see what the live stream looked like here to see if there's any comments, but I'm doing this on my phone and I'm horrible. I'm a techie guy that's not very techie. So everybody, if you're there, thank you for commenting at the live stream and thank you for showing up for today. And I hope you guys have a great holiday weekend. If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a review in Apple Podcasts, marriagekidsandmoney.com/Apple Podcasts, or just leave us a comment down in the stream here. If you're listening to the podcast, you can check Nicole and I out, our faces. I know you like listening, but you could also see us on YouTube, youtube.com/marriagekidsandmoney. And
I'm sure Carlos is here, even though
Carlos
we can't
is
see the
probably
comments.
here.
Hey, Carlos.
He's got to be here. And we got
And we have a live studio audience.
and hit the red subscribe button too, because that helps us out a lot. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate it. The live studio audience here is helping us
We
a
have
lot.
no hecklers today.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
We only have supportive people giving us good advice. Where are the hecklers?
Yeah, no negative reviews. Awesome. Well, cheers, everybody. Have a great holiday weekend. Happy birthday, America. See ya. Peace.
Happy
the end
4th
button?
of July.
Oh, yeah, that button.